Hello, this is Brother Teacher. I just wanted to say a couple words to you today about value. We should all have a vested interest in one another. Uh, I understand the world in which we live as far as it being a very cruel world. There's all types of individuals or people in the world, and there's a faction of our society that intends us no good. Outside of the great people that are in our society, we have good people as well. But unfortunately, the good people do not outweigh the bad people. And when I say bad, I guess that's a matter of interpretation when you say bad. Bad simply meaning that people who don't have your interest at heart and who are less than a humanitarian, so to speak. Uh, Good example is if I dropped a $20 bill on the ground and using the scenario 100 people walking past and everyone saw that $100, the $20 bill on the ground in 100 different instances, how many people would let me know that I dropped the money and hand me the money back versus the individuals who would take the money and walk away? It's your guess. What do you think? If I was sitting in a restaurant and I intended to tip the waitress $10 and I accidentally left two $100 bills on the table because I was shuffling through my money in a hurried fashion and didn't pay attention, and I walked out the door, but before I got out the door, she recognized it and she still knew I was presently in the store. Would she take the money and allow me to continue out the door? Or would she say, "Excuse me, sir, stop. Did you intend to give me this much money?" If we had 100 situations and 100 different people who were waitresses, how many would be forthright and honest and say, "You gave me too much money"? Versus those who would say, "I lucked out today. I just benefited from this person." And you know that that's not the average customer tip. What would you do? What is your thought? So what I'm getting at is this. When we are on the internet and we have a business or a brand, which can be just us being the brand that we're promoting, and you open it up for other people to comment in or respond to your post, let's say on YouTube and on your various platforms that you might be on when it's open to the public, be aware that everyone does not intend you good. There are people who will praise you because you are offering a good service and a good product. There are people who will praise you because you have even taken the step towards success. And they respect and appreciate that. Oftentimes it's people who wish that they could have done it and would have done it themselves. And other times it's fellow entrepreneurs. Those individuals who know what it takes to make that first step, who are well on their way already. And they see you as an aspiring entrepreneur moving up the ladder. And they respect that. And oftentimes they will give you advice and free advice on how to get to where you want to go and where they already are. But sometimes, not all of the time, but sometimes you have people respond to your endeavors on the internet in a derogatory, negative way. And I can't make it any plainer than this. I've had people make comments on my YouTube videos, for example, that were derogatory and negative, and they don't know me. I never knew them. And they were very insensitive comments, having nothing directly to do with the content or the context of what I was saying or what I was representing. These individuals exist in our society, and it's okay. But what I have found is that just because a person is insecure and doesn't love themselves is no reason for us to lower ourselves to their level and behave as they are. So, as I've been taught and as I believe, if you want to respond to that individual, respond to them in an intellectual, in a business way. Don't drop to their level. Don't use colorful language, things of that sort. But let them know that you are trying to present something on the internet and that they're entitled to their opinion and their feelings. And don't single you out just because they're having a bad day or just because they don't love themselves. And I have said this to individuals in a very straightforward business type of way, with no hate towards them or no animosity towards them, but I had a frustration because even though we know this is the world that we live in, we still have these types of individuals out here who do things just because they can or feel as though they can. And it's okay that that person exists. It's sad, but they do indeed exist in our society. So what I have done in my life is a checks and balancing system. First of all, knowing who I am as a person, knowing what I represent. And I know that what I represent is honorable, and I know that I'm a humble individual, and I know that I have touched positively many, many, many lives in my lifetime. And I don't need anyone to validate that. I don't need anyone to try to define me and say that he's a great guy. I already know who I am, and I already know what I am and what I represent. So when I receive negative comments and feedback from just a sparse amount of individuals that just want to get their rocks off for that particular day, it's okay. I have put them in their places and fortunately never got a response back from them again. After one or two texts back or comments back from me, they never said a word after that. They just went on their merry way, probably trying to harass someone else that they could get under their skin. But it wasn't me. It wasn't my day. It wasn't going to be my day because I have a reputation and I have been on this planet for nearly 54 years and I believe in presenting value. Now, not just value in terms of the information that I put out or value in terms of the products that I put out in whatever particular venue that I'm in that particular day, but value in terms of how I treat individuals. I want to give you value always. I'm about edification. I'm about helping you to be a better you. I'm an educator, to say the least. And I give props to everyone that has benefited me. And since I've been on this internet journey, this online marketing journey, I give props. And I believe in that because that's just the way it really should be. I've learned a lot from people like Anthony Morrison, who was my first internet inspiration. He was the first person that I jumped on board with. Michael Bashi. He was another individual that got my first website, up and running. Michael Bashi out of Canada. It's been Lisa Irby. I respect and look up to Lisa because she offers a whole lot of good information. And she's been in the game for a while. Jason Orban. And all of these people, even though I'm a fully grown man, I believe that you can learn from anyone. These people have benefited me since I've been online, and it's a big dude. He's another individual, from a conscious level on the internet. Uh, I wish I could name all of the individuals now. Uh, what is it? Even though he's in prison now, Kevin Trudeau was a great inspiration to me as far as being aware of all of the ways business can be disingenuous to us as citizens or consumers. So wherever he's at, I'm continuing to pray for him, because irrespective of what anyone has already said about the man, selling snake oil and this type of thing, I know that's all propaganda, and I know that he has given us a wealth of information as it concerns the government, as it concerns the Food and Drug Administration, the food industry, the restaurant industry, and so forth, and that we should do our due diligence and study and find out how these things absolutely work. So we're living in a society that we don't question anything. Some people just show me the money, and that's all we think about. Show me the money. But you know what? Your life is important. If you want to live a long and prosperous life on this planet, then it would behoove you, as it will all of us, to make certain that we understand the platforms upon which we're working in our society. Understand how business works in the brick and mortar, in the private sector, and on the internet, and so forth. Understanding how the government works as it has to do with us, the individual consumers. So I know I kind of twisted some things up there for a moment, but getting back real quick to being online and how people are. Uh, I love what I do. I spend time with my family, and I make it a point to have quality family time with my family. I know sometimes we can get caught up in the hustle and the bustle of trying to perfect and trying to chisel down and make our presentations and our products better. And we spend a whole lot of midnight oil. We burn it. And what I have found myself doing oftentimes is I spend the quality time with my family in an appropriate manner, and then when everyone is asleep, I try to spend a couple hours to three, sometimes 4 or 5 hours working on my internet projects. So that has worked out fine for me, because that way my family is not being shortened, because they want daddy, they want their father, and I cannot, while they're in their developmental stage, I'm talking about my children, that is, they can't be denied me. So I have learned how to balance that. And real quickly again, on those individuals that's out here in the internet world who have a Facebook account, a YouTube account, a Twitter account, who's out here always spewing this negativism and talking about people who are trying to do something, or who indeed are doing something. All I can say is that God, Yahweh, bless you. And I hope that one day that he opens up your understanding to your bad behavior and your mischoices in life, and that you can be the person that you should be. I can't say want to be, because if you want to be someone who has some sense of worth, you wouldn't be doing the things quite naturally that you are doing. When you see someone post something of value or quality on the internet, then you have to say something negative about the person and attack their physical appearance and so forth. People are people. They're good and bad, and they come in all shapes and sizes. And you can't hate the messenger. Just make sure that you get the message. That's the most important thing at the end of the day. And with that, I'm going to conclude this particular video, and I will see you guys on the inside again. You take care.